In the ancient city of Cyprus, around 300 BC, there was a man named Zeno who was very wealthy. He made his fortune as a trader, sailing goods from Phoenicia to Piraeus. However, one fateful day, disaster struck. His boat sank, taking all his cargo with it. In an instant, Zeno went from being rich to being poor. Imagine how you might feel if everything you worked for suddenly vanished because of something beyond your control. Most people would probably feel angry, sad, or cheated. But Zeno didn't react that way. Instead, he remained calm and composed, despite his dire situation. Zeno was the father of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches acceptance and indifference to the things we cannot control. He believed that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. Instead of dwelling on his misfortune, Zeno focused on maintaining his composure and not letting his emotions get the better of him. I wanted to take a minute to thank everyone who has subscribed and encourage those who haven't to please consider subscribing to see the rise of Stoic empire. Today, when we think of Stoics, we often imagine people who are unemotional and unaffected by the ups and downs of life. But Zeno's Stoicism was about more than just being tough. It was about finding balance and inner peace, even in the face of adversity. Stoicism isn't just about being emotionless. It's a whole way of looking at life. People who follow Stoicism see the world in a certain way and try to understand it better. This way of thinking has been around for a very long time, and it still helps people today. Stoicism teaches us how to handle difficult emotions and turn them into something positive. It's like taking bad feelings and using them to see the world in a new and helpful way. Since everyone's life experiences are different, Stoicism helps us appreciate different perspectives. Back in ancient times, Stoicism wasn't just for philosophers sitting in ivory towers. It was for everyone. Stoics believed their ideas could benefit everyone, so they talked about them openly, not hiding them away. This openness meant that anyone, whether they were a slave or an emperor, could learn Stoicism and apply it to their lives. Some famous Stoics from history include Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. They weren't just thinkers. They lived according to their beliefs. They fought against unfair treatment and believed in bringing people together. In fact, they coined the term cosmopolitan to describe someone who sees themselves as a citizen of the world, not just of one place. One remarkable thing about Stoicism is that it was open to everyone, including women. In a time when many philosophical schools excluded women, Stoicism welcomed them to learn and practice alongside men. This inclusivity was ahead of its time and shows that Stoicism truly valued the ideas and contributions of all people, regardless of gender or status. Why do so many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life? Well, life is full of surprises, and sometimes our emotions can make things harder. We don't just get sad because something bad happens. It's when the bad things happen unexpectedly that it really gets to us. Take rain, for example. Rain is important. It waters plants, helps animals, and cools the air. But when you're caught outside without an umbrella, it's not a pleasant experience. So why don't we break down in tears every time it rains? It's because deep down, we know rain is something we can't control. Even though it's not ideal, we've learned to expect it. Stoicism teaches us to apply this same mindset to life's challenges. We should anticipate that bad things will happen, just like we anticipate rain. By mentally preparing ourselves for the worst-case scenario, we can find contentment in knowing that we'll be okay, regardless of what comes our way. One exercise Stoics use to strengthen this mindset is voluntary discomfort. This involves deliberately putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, like sleeping on the floor or taking cold showers, to appreciate the things we often take for granted. By enduring these hardships, we build resilience and develop a greater sense of gratitude for the things we have. In today's world, where advertisements constantly bombard us with messages about what we need to be happy, Stoicism offers a valuable perspective. It reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from external possessions or appearances, but from within ourselves. As we navigate through life, we encounter various sources of knowledge, from our families, schools, and personal experiences. However, not all of this knowledge is beneficial. If we internalize unrealistic expectations based on what we're taught, we may find ourselves perpetually dissatisfied with our lives. Stoicism encourages us to question and selectively embrace the knowledge that truly aligns with our values and contributes to our well-being. Living like that isn't the best idea. Instead, we should focus on making ourselves better, just for our own sake. Our actions should be driven by our own desires, not by what others expect from us. When we attach expectations to what we do, we often end up disappointed. Sometimes, in an attempt to fill the void left by disappointment, we turn to external things like splurging on expensive possessions, like fancy cars or big houses, or even starting a family, not because it truly brings us joy, but because society tells us it should. But according to Stoicism, relying on external factors for our happiness is risky. Things like cars can break down, disasters can wipe out what we own, and relationships may not always last. Even the intangible things in life, like our thoughts and emotions, come at a cost. They take up space in our minds and hearts. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, believed that true happiness comes from recognizing our intrinsic value as human beings, not from material possessions or achievements. He emphasized the importance of maintaining inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we can't. We should base our self-worth on our actions and attitudes, not on external factors beyond our control. While it's admirable to set goals and work towards them, Stoics believe that getting upset when things don't go our way is pointless. Instead, we should focus on adapting to circumstances and maintaining our composure in the face of adversity. Stoics believe that instead of worrying about what happens because of your efforts, you should focus on how hard you tried. They say you should trust the process. Imagine someone who has been working really hard at their job for 6 months. They believe they should get a promotion because of their efforts. So they show their boss all the work they've done, hoping for a promotion. But the boss doesn't give it to them. They feel bad, thinking they must be bad at their job. They don't think about other reasons why they didn't get the promotion, like the boss being in a bad mood or the company not having enough money. They're still upset even though they don't know why. If they focused on doing good work and kept trying for the promotion, they might feel happier. With the right mindset, they could see that they just need to wait for the right time. It's important to change how you think about things. A true Stoic doesn't measure success by how much money they make, but by living a comfortable life without needing lots of stuff. Stoicism has 4 main ideas: wisdom, courage, self-control, and fairness. Wisdom means knowing what you can control and choosing how you react to things that happen. Viktor Frankl once explained that in the moment when something happens to us, we have a small gap. In that gap, we get to choose how we respond. This choice is really important. It's where our power lies. It takes a lot of bravery to make the right choice. Bravery means not giving up, even when things are tough. It also means finding balance, like saying what's important in just a few words. While some people, like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, are busy trying to be the richest, there's another idea called Stoicism. Stoics believe in having only what we really need, not always wanting more. They think being fair is the most important thing. They say we should never hurt others because we're all here to help each other, not just look out for ourselves. Nelson Mandela was a famous African leader who fought against something called apartheid. He was put in prison for a long time, 27 years. That is insane. Many people thought when he became president, he'd want revenge. But he didn't. Mandela believed in forgiveness and starting anew. He learned about these ideas from reading a philosopher named Marcus Aurelius. Mandela encouraged his people to move forward and make their country better, leaving the past behind. Stoicism is a way of thinking that's been around for a long time. It's like a guide to living well. Nowadays, in modern medicine, we use Stoic ideas in treatments like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps people figure out why they're feeling bad and acting in certain ways. It's about finding those negative thoughts that keep popping up and making life harder. Once we see those thoughts aren't helpful or true, we can challenge them with better, more logical ideas. It's like swapping out old, worn-out ideas for shiny new ones. Then there's logotherapy. It's based on the idea that people need a sense of purpose to feel happy, even when things are tough. But finding that purpose isn't always easy. It's like searching for treasure in a dark cave. We have to dig deep and really think about what gives our lives meaning. But changing how we think isn't a quick fix. It's a journey, a process of rewiring our brains to focus on what really matters. Stoicism teaches us to stop stressing about things we can't control and start appreciating what we can. It's like learning to navigate through rough seas, finding peace even when the waves are crashing around us. And even if everything falls apart, Stoicism reminds us that we can still find peace, knowing we tried our best, because in the end, everything comes to an end. By applying these strategies, we aim to enrich our souls and foster positive progress in our daily lives. I stand firmly by your side, not only as a guide, but also as a companion on the journey of self-development through Stoic philosophy. Remember, every significant change begins with small steps, and I am always here to offer support and encouragement. Continue striving to be the best version of yourself, and remember that true peace and value originate from within. If this conversation has sparked a desire for more exploration, more understanding, and more growth, I invite you to continue the journey. On your screen, you'll see a playlist that will take you further into the world of Stoicism, its principles, and how they can be applied to everyday life. So go ahead, click on it, and let's continue our journey and grow together. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, stay stoic, my friends. Watch the next video, and I'll see you there.